It is 93.3 WMMR. We are backstage with the great members of Cheap Trick. We have Tom Peterson, we have Robin Zander, and we have Rick Nielsen. Good day, gentlemen.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure.
Hello.
Welcome back to Philly. Tom, great to have you. We've talked about this when you guys were on my show before and you played acoustically, but for newer listeners who might not remember, there was a time where I think all three of you lived in Philadelphia near Rittenhouse Square. Is that not correct?
Not me.
Robin didn't, but Rick and I did.
Okay.
22nd and Walnut.
22nd and Walnut.
I think it was 2126 Walnut Street.
And I heard that it was a club called Artemis or a restaurant?
Artemis, which is over on Sansom Street. Tom and I worked at.
Yeah?
Now, I had asked Rick the last time what kind of a waiter or bartender he was. I don't know what you did, Tom.
I was a waitress.
Were you a good waitress?
Not really, no.
Did you get a lot of
I was
tips?
the only guy waitress, so I didn't really have to know what I was doing. Because all the girls did all the work.
Excellent.
They get all the tips, too, but...
I started as a busboy and worked there for about a week, and then I was promoted to bartender.
Nice.
I worked with Rick Suter. Remember him?
I do not know.
Well, you
The
must
name
not
sounds
have, you must
familiar.
not have drank a lot then.
Yeah, come on. You have to know the bartenders' names.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's true, and they have to know your drink when you walk in.
That was Carroll? David Carroll.
Okay.
David Carroll.
Oh, I know
ran the
him.
place.
Yeah. Good memory, man. Robin, did you ever have a gig like that, a strange restaurant job?
Nope, I never have.
Good.
No.
That's
But I did see Tom's waitress outfit in the Philadelphia Hall of Fame.
It is. Yes, indeed. We're here with Cheap Trick. Now, April 1st, gentlemen, the Illinois State Senate declared it Cheap Trick Day. I'm curious if they presented you with a plaque or if you guys went to actually accept in person or...
Yes, I did. I went to the state of Illinois to the Senate floor and in the chambers there, and it was the only that day was the only bipartisan, 100% up yes vote for putting us in there. It was it was amazing. It was there was no bickering between Republicans and Democrats, and when I threw some picks out to the senators and the congressmen, they groveled like little women on the floor. And that's an insult to ladies, but they groveled on the floor. They were horrible, but it was quite an honor, because they asked us. They said because here we are, a band from Illinois, and we were the only band or the only actually a company that brought money back from the Far East to the United States. Everybody else was shelling money out to the Far East, so we were duly noted. I said the problem was we didn't bring enough back.
Wow. Well, we've talked about, you touched on Hall of Fames, and...
No, we haven't.
Well, Tom did in terms of his waitress suit, or your waitress suit.
No, I didn't.
No, I did.
You did. Sorry, Robin did.
Pierre, get with it.
I'm sorry. I'm just trying to learn this gig after
Okay.
31 years.
You're killing us here.
I am. Well, Robin, you donated your Sgt. Pepper's outfit to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. A couple of years back, you guys did 2 weeks at the Las Vegas Hilton with a full orchestra, which was pretty cool, playing all of Sgt. Pepper. And I understand the outfit's in the Hall of Fame. Is that right?
You are correct.
Ah, cool. What did it
Why'd
look
you get rid of that?
I just didn't have any use for it. What was I going to do? Just wear it around the house?
You could go down to the store, do your shopping in it.
Yeah,
Pretty cool, though.
Could do. No,
Actually,
but it is pretty cool. And I'm proud that they've hung it up there.
That's neat.
We actually did more than that, though. We did. That was.
I did 100 shows.
We did 100 shows in Las Vegas, something like that.
Oh, really?
Not just at Hilton, all over.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. And it was all with that orchestra doing the Beatle thing, or?
It mainly.
Yeah, and then we incorporated that into doing the Dream Police album, which we did a bunch of shows of that in Milwaukee, and then we did Sgt. Pepper. We did that in New York, and we did it in Florida, and we did it in Los Angeles 3 times.
Hollywood Bowl, yeah.
Hollywood Bowl, Las Vegas, and we're actually doing it twice this summer too. We're doing it at Ravinia, which is outside of Chicago, and then we're doing something. Where is it? Wyoming or someplace where they don't want us very often.
Well, that brings up something, because a lot of bands these days are celebrating a full album of their catalog. But
Bunch
you
of
guys,
copycats.
well, dude, you guys were one of the first I've ever seen do that. And it was a little theater on South Street called the TLA, and you did 3 nights. And it's the first I saw. I heard this wickedly cool band, Cheap Trick. Each night's going to do a different album. One night was in color. One night was Dream Police. I forgot what the third night was, but
The first night was just the first album that we did.
okay.
The second night was in color, and third night was Heaven Tonight.
That's difficult to do. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I
I mean, following the tracking of the album.
Plus, we actually had albums that are worth listening to.
yeah, and also we had to rehearse, which we haven't done in about 30 years.
Well, Rick, you've said this is a band that has 250 songs, but people know 10 of them.
That many? Okay.
Is that frustrating to you collectively? Because you continually make new and great music.
We're too dumb to quit. Just keep making them. It's all right. Like from the set that we just played yesterday with a lot of the same bands, and in Columbus, and today, I think we're doing a similar set, but we're augmenting it with 5 different songs today. So it's like we don't run out of bad things to do.
Speaking of exhibits, there's a place called the Burpee Natural History Museum in Rockford, your guys' hometown.
It's closed.
The museum is closed?
Well, it was the thing that had me in there.
All right. Well, there was an
went
exhibit.
on for 8 months.
Yeah, it was there for quite a while. It was called Rick's Picks, a lifelong affair with guitars and music. And apparently...
That wasn't my title.
Well, that's their title. But
Okay.
apparently it contained every trivial piece of stuff you had collected over many years, because you're apparently a Rat Pack.
I am very much a rat hoarder.
I understand there even were motel keys, because you used to keep motel keys.
I still do. No, I don't keep them anymore because now they're all plastic.
They're all cards now.
But yeah, the old ones I used to keep them all. I mean, I've got the stuff from our first tour at Budokan, in 1978.
Wait a minute, you're not supposed to do that. It's illegal.
Oops. Well, okay, I broke the law a lot, and so I have to. Yeah, I had keys from all those places. I have receipts. I have 5,000 airline boarding passes too. For
Really?
every flight I've ever been on.
And many of those were displayed?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, it's like if you have one, it's like, oh, nice memento. You have 10 of them, and it's like, oh, well, there you go. If you have 5,000, it's totally ridiculous. So I flow towards the ridiculous.
In your home, is there an overabundance of stuff?
I have 5,000 wives. No, I have one, and that's enough.
Tom, you described the bass as what you call a heavy metal grand piano. What do you mean by that?
Oh, the 12-string bass.
Yeah.
Well, it's just a big kind of a symphonic sound, big sound, a lot of strings.
It's cool because I think you just purchased one that was really rare from a gentleman, a 12-string that you have. It has not made the concert scene yet, as I understand, but you were quite intrigued by this guitar. It was made by Phil Jones, I think.
Oh, it's a Gibson.
Okay.
Yeah, he was a luthier at Gibson, and in, I think, 1981, he wanted them to put a 12-string bass into production. So he made one, and they didn't want to hear about it. And
Oh, really?
he was
Cool.
selling it, and I got it.
Do you think
I just happened to hear about it. I was at George Gruen's guitar store in Nashville, and he just came up in casual conversation. It's like, what are you talking about? Oh, yeah, he's setting it up. He's going to put it up for sale.
You think
really?
the grand piano thing has anything to do with the Liberace movie on HBO coming out?
A lot to do with
A
it.
lot. Liberace was cool. I mean, you guys know showmanship. Well, you do. You know, I'm looking at Rick right now. He's got a plaid shirt on. He's got a boat. Shit. Oh, holy shit. Look at that. His teeth. He's got teeth. Would you describe that for our audience?
Pearly whites.
They're not. They're checkered fake teeth.
They're not. They're not fake.
Those are
They're
cavities
real.
that look like checkers.
Yeah, I drilled.
Wow.
Yes, I figured at my age I didn't want to have all beautiful white teeth or a gold grill, so I made them to look like my amplifiers.
His bow tie says Dream Police on it, and your in-ear monitor even has the same checkerboard
You have
pattern
to see
on
my
it.
underwear.
Well, that's another
Year.
time. Now, to celebrate the 35th anniversary of Budokan, you guys, I think, did shows in L.A. and New York. Did you actually go to Budokan, though, Robin? Go back there?
We did for our 30th. Or,
I think it was our 30th.
Yeah,
Okay.
30th. We went back and did that. But we didn't do it yet for this one. But
No,
we are going back in August.
Yeah, we're going in August to do a bunch of big shows there.
Because I understand that was one of the first times you got an over-the-top reception that blew you away.
It was the first time we went there. It was unbelievable.
Like girls waiting at the airport and that kind
oh,
of thing?
yeah, it was
Wow.
unbelievable. We
Pierre,
looked out
you
the
were
window.
there.
I was there. That's
Yeah.
right. Did you see that dress I was wearing?
You look good without the beard.
I got to ask you also because, Rick, you're part of the Sound City Players, and Dave Grohl came to you and asked you to be a part of that project featuring that wonderful studio, Sound City. And how did you hear about it? How did he call you
Well,
up?
Cheap Trick recorded there.
Right.
We did our third album, and I think we did Heaven Tonight at that studio. And although I missed the guys in Cheap Trick, I mean, I'd rather play with these guys than anybody. But Dave Grohl calls, okay, So we did some shows around the country, and he's a great guy. And all the people we played with, Corey Taylor and I can't.
Stevie Nicks was on some of those shows, right?
I heard, yeah. I heard. Pat Smear, all these good guys. I mean, and plus Chris Novoselic.
Right.
And I even learned how to pronounce his name.
But I love it when you mix up different styles of music, because as musicians, you know better than anyone that even though the record labels and some radio will classify, well, this is hard rock or this is acoustic or this is alternative, musicians don't think that way. Dave Grohl's probably the best example of that. I don't know if you'd agree with that, Robin, or not, but
I think so. He can afford to.
But I mean, he's played. He loves to play with everyone from Paul McCartney to guys from Led Zeppelin.
Yeah, and they want to play with him too.
Right.
So, I mean, it works out real good.
Well, in terms of these pairings,
He's a terrific guy. So he gets the big picture. When I worked with him, I said, Dave, you get it. He understands it. He treats the fans like he does the musicians. He treats everybody terrible. I mean, he treats everybody great. You didn't catch that, so that's why I had to explain myself there.
I'm getting the signal that it's time to wrap up. But,
I bet. Yeah, everybody in here can't wait for us to leave, or maybe
not true.
maybe for you to leave, and we'll just take over the show.
I wouldn't mind that.
Tom and I, we know all about Rittenhouse Square.
You know about Rittenhouse Square?
MMR and all the good old days. Mayor Rizzo,
Carol Miller.
Carol Miller.
Wow,
right?
Carol Miller started at MMR. So did Mark Goodman. So did many other people. So we've been around.
So about you. You started there, and where are you going next?
Probably into the hole, into the ground.
Oh,
30. I've been there 31 years, and the station's
the ground?
been on. Well, some would say that, I suppose. And the station's been on the air for 45 years. So
well, you got one of the coolest names in radio.
it's my real name.
No way.
It is, dude.
I thought it was like Elton or something
Right,
like that.
Liberace, sure.
It's Pierre Robert. Say it, Tom.
Cosmo.
What's that?
Say my name.
I can't.
Robin, say my name.
Pierre.
Thank you.
Pierre Robert.
That's all I wanted to know.
That is so fake.
It's
Come
so
on now.
not fake. It's just not fake
Pepe
at all.
Le Pew.
Pepe Le Pew. All right. Gentlemen, we have wanted you guys on this MMRBQ since we started it 7 years ago. We're thrilled that you're here.
Our phone number has not changed, so what took you so damn long?
You'd have to ask our friends who booked it. I'm not in the booking department, but I love the fact that you're here. I think the last time you were here, you opened for Aerosmith, which was cool, seeing Joe Perry and Steven Tyler come out and sing Cheap Trick songs. But also...
They did?
They did. In Philly, they did, at least.
I think we're playing some shows with them coming up, too.
Oh, cool. You never stop. This band never stops.
We're too dumb to quit. I told you that.
I know. Gentlemen, it's great to have you, and thanks so much for being here. Tom and Rick and
Thanks,
Robin.
Thanks,
Thanks a
Peter.
lot.
It's not Peter.